we're looking at moving forward here. We're excited to begin, really a new phase with the 20 hours a week on Wednesday. Something that we haven't been able to do. We're gonna phase into it. We're still not through all of our conditioning yet, so we're gonna kind of stick with the schedule we've been on for the last couple of weeks for the rest of this week and all of next week, and then we'll transition into more full-fledged practice that following week. But we're going to basically practice Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the next couple of weeks, do individual workouts on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then take the weekends off, and then we're conditioning on the Tuesdays and Thursdays, doing a little bit of conditioning on Friday. The following week will be our boot camp, that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then after we get through boot camp, we'll go into practice every day. So we're gonna take it slow as we get going here. But I like our team's going. I like where we're heading. I think we've got a lot of good pieces. We're making a lot of athletic plays. Our defense is markedly better. We've got a good philosophy defensively, and I feel like we're going to be much improved on the defensive end as we move forward here. So I like where we are, and we just got to continue to get better and blend all the guys that we have.
Just a reminder, you can unmute yourself when you have a question.
Will?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Good to have you back, Sheldon.
Thank you. How big a philosophical change was the defense? How much did that entail over the 7 months?
It's a pretty big philosophical change. We're gonna. It'll be very noticeable when you watch us play, what we're doing and how we've changed, and a little bit more aggressive in some areas and a little bit maybe smarter in other areas with what we're going to give up and what we're going to take away. And so, I think our guys have done a good job so far of executing what we need to do. We've obviously got to continue to clean things up and get better in other areas. But I think there'll be noticeable differences with what we do and how we do it. And we've got to continue to improve and continue to fine-tune what we're doing. But we've been able to build it over the last couple weeks. We've still got to add a couple new wrinkles and a couple new twists to what we're doing. But we've got the base defenses in and the base of what we're doing in, and then we've just got to be able to add to it and build on what we've got.
Will, following up on that defensive direction, are you finding that the people on your roster now are more committed to playing defense and understand how it leads to offense and success?
Yeah, I think, part of having a good defense is having some defensive-minded guys. Obviously, Charles Manning is somebody who's coming back, who's defensive-minded, but wait till you see Imwani Wilkinson and Jalen Cook defend. Those are two very, very good, I don't want to call them elite defenders yet, but Jalen Cook, maybe the best on-ball defender I've seen since we had Breonte Weber at VCU, who's the second all-time leading NCAA steals leader. Cook is as good as I've seen at hounding the ball and guarding the ball. And Imwani, you watch a full practice, hour and a half practice, he may make 2 or 3 mistakes the entire practice defensively. I'm talking about with his closeouts and where, it's uncanny how sharp he is defensively. And then our returners, Javonte's getting better defensively. Trendon's talking and communicating and being a leader on the defensive end. Darius Days is in great shape. He's down to 238 right now, so he's been able to move and been good defensively. And Brian Penn Johnson's helping us at the rim. So we've got some better defensive pieces, and I think in the past we just really haven't had anything to hang our hat on defensively. Offensively, things don't go well. We're going to get in the paint, get to the free throw line, chuck it off the backboard, go offensive rebound, find a way to dig out some points. Defensively, we hadn't had that, and we're going to really protect that paint and force you to shoot contested jump shots, stay between our man and the basket, give us a better chance to defensive rebound. So just got a little bit sturdier philosophy, and then we've got certainly guys that are probably a little bit more interested than we've had in the past of guarding. Defense seems to be a big theme this week, huh?
One more on defense. You talked about protecting the rim. You didn't really have a big guy last year. Does Penn Johnson kind of compare to Cavell a little bit?
No. Penn Johnson's a totally different player than Cavell. I mean, they're similar in that Penn Johnson's 7'1" and Cavell was 6'11". I mean, they're massive human beings. But Penn's, very skilled offensively. He's gonna affect more shots than he blocks. Cavell was gonna block a lot of shots, but Penn's gonna affect more shots than he blocks. Very cerebral player, very, very smart player. He understands our philosophy. We've put in our. We talked a little bit about the defense earlier. He's used to playing a matchup zone. He's used to playing a zone. He knows what he knows what he's doing from his time at Washington. There's probably very few that teach the zone better than Jim Boeheim and his tree, which Coach Hopkins at Washington is part of that tree. So Penn just has an advanced understanding of what we're doing, which has helped him adjust quickly and know what he needs to do and talk and communicate and help the other guys get in position.
Yeah, Will, as part of the change in philosophy from last year is that you have the bodies to do it now. It seemed like last year you had no bench and no fouls to give, and it's like everybody kind of played pin that they didn't want to foul out.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is you've got the way we're going to play, and we're playing a lot harder defensively, which is another big part of the equation is you got to play hard. But I think part of that is we've got other guys that can come in, and then if you're not doing your job and you miss too many assignments in a row, we chart missed assignments every day in practice, and if you're missing too many assignments or not doing what you're supposed to do defensively, then we've got somebody else that can come in and replace you and do just as good a job, and we probably haven't had that. We definitely haven't had that last year. We really didn't even have it 2 years ago. We played 8 guys. I mean, if we played today, as we sit here and talk today, I got 9 guys I feel like we can put in an SEC game today, and I'd be pretty comfortable with them. And there's another 2 or 3 or 4 of them, the other 4 of them that are on scholarship that every other day, one of them you think, man, I'd put them in. They just haven't shown the consistency yet of what we need. But we've got a roster of 13 guys that can all play, and it makes practice competitive. And sometimes you don't realize how competitive it is, but Skylar came to practice one day last week. He came and sat on the side, and after practice he talked to me like, golly, Coach, you guys are, you got 5 people above the rim on every shot. And, sometimes it takes some perspective from somebody else to see the difference in our depth and athleticism.
Yeah, Will, what is Trenton Watford? What does he improve from last year? What do you see in his game that's different?
Well, Trendon's really done a phenomenal job. I'd say the first thing is just leadership. He's more vocal. He's leading, he's talking to guys. He's got a great way about him where he's very competitive on the court, but he's also able to bring guys together off the court. Physically, he's playing a lot more physical, whether it be posting up, whether it be rebounding and hitting people. And then, the biggest area, those are areas that I'm excited about, where our fans and most people will be more excited about is he's shooting the ball really well. He's got the capability to be 38-40% from 3, and if he does that, it opens up the driving lane and gives him opportunity and space to drive it. And so I'd say his leadership, his physicality, and his ability to shoot the ball are all 3 big areas where he's made some big strides. You got to give him a lot of credit. He took the feedback from the process and has just gone about attacking that feedback day after day after day, which is not easy to do.
Well, turning offense, is this the most top to bottom, most flexibility you've had in the 4 years, and is it similar to what you had at BC? LSU flexibility in interchanging routes?
Well, offensively, we've got some good parts offensively. Like we say, we gotta make sure we value that ball and just get a shot on the basket. I think we're going to be an elite offensive rebounding team. I know we've been very, very good offensive rebounding. I think we can be, top 5 in the country in terms of offensive rebounding and offensive rebounding percentage. We've got good pieces offensively. We're going to play a little bit faster. We're trying to get the ball moving in transition quicker, trying to get to our spots quicker in transition. We've got a great point guard with Javante. We've got just a tremendous scorer with Cam Thomas, and you got Days, you got Watford, we've just got a lot of pieces. We can play big, we can play small. There's a lot of different ways we can play. We've got a lot of different versatility within our lineups, which will make us difficult to guard. We're almost going to play offensively and defensively. We got one way to play when we're playing big, and we've got Penn Johnson or Josh Gray or one of those big kids in there. And we got another way to play when we're playing small, when you've got a Darius Days or a Josh LeBlanc who's playing one of the big spots. So we can play multiple different styles in multiple different ways, which is something that we haven't been able to do.
Hey, Coach, I know it's been probably about a month or so since we last talked to you, and, Shareef is on the team now and with the program. I mean, just how is he kind of fitting into Baton Rouge, and just kind of how do you think he's going to be able to fit you guys in your roster this year?
It's a good question. You must have been watching practice yesterday, Glenn. He had his best practice yesterday, so you must have been spying on us somehow. But no, I mean, Shareef's. I know the follow-up will be the waiver has been filed. We sent in everything, and so we're waiting to hear back on that waiver. But everything is filed, and we'll see where it goes. We feel good, but we'll see where everything goes. But yes, Michael, everybody's just jumping in. But I got to do everything around here. Play SID, everything, But Glenn, Shareef has been very, very good. He's making shots. He's shooting it as well as he shot it. He's a very good offensive rebounder. He's got good stuff when we give him space in the long post. And we're pressing a little bit more. I'm trying not to give away everything we're doing defensively, but he's the best guy we got on the ball right now in the press. He gets deflections. He's long. He's athletic. He's really, really good on the ball. We call that guy the madman. You got to have somebody up there with some energy, some length. And him and Watford are both very, very good on the front of the press, and so that really sets the tone for your press when you got those guys up there that can make it hard to get the ball in bounds.
Sorry, Will. Cobble just showed up like 10 minutes late. So
That's typical. We're used to that.
I was taking a shower. Brandon asked me if I just woke up. No, I just got out of the shower, and I didn't have time to do any of this.
Michael, sorry.
Thank you. Overruled. Not ruling from the bench. Will, just how difficult, or have you been surprised at how it's not been difficult to try to develop team chemistry this year, given the situation with the pandemic? And could you give an update? You mentioned Shareef, but is there an update on all your transfers, where their status is in terms of availability for this season?
Yeah. So I'll take the first part. Penn Johnson's been cleared. Shareef's is under review, and we're still gathering the information to file LeBlanc. So that's where the transfers are. But, I mean, LeBlanc, the way the season got pushed back, I mean, he even if we don't necessarily get a waiver for him, he'll only miss a couple games just because the way the season got pushed back. But I think our now we hadn't started doling out, responsibilities, but this is the best. This is the closest knit team we've had. We've got a lot of just good people, and they enjoy being around each other. They enjoy working. It's a blue collar group, which is more my type crew. These guys are in here working all day and spending time watching film, and they're worried about how they look, how they play. They worry about what's going on, and they want to get things corrected. And so I like the way our team is, and we've got some depth. And so it's going to be about quality, not necessarily quantity. When you're in there, you've got to give us quality minutes. You got to take quality shots. You got to not have missed assignments defensively. And it's not necessarily going to be about the quantity of everything, but the quality. And we've got some good pieces. I've always said this. I believe this. Depth is overrated a little bit for games. We're not going to be able to play more than 9 or 10 guys, but it's very underrated for practice. To be able to go against each other and have, the reality was last year we had a walk-on guarding Javonte Smart in practice. And he gave it his all, and he did a great job. But Javonte could get in the paint, could get wherever he wanted to anytime. And so he could have a C practice every day. Now we got Jalen Cook guarding Javonte and Javonte guarding Jalen Cook. You can't take an off day. If you relax for 1 second, Jalen Cook's going to take the ball from you and go lay it in. And so, you've got competition. And I haven't mentioned him, but one of the guys on our team who's probably made the biggest jump from last year to this year is Andre Hyatt. I mean, he's playing phenomenally. He's in the best shape. He's not wearing a knee brace. He's able to move. And so, you've got Andre Hyatt going against, Charles Manning in practice, and you've got Darius Days and Trendon able to go against each other. You've got great competitiveness in practice, and that's where the depth really pays off. Is you can't take an off day. You can't relax for a minute, because if you miss a checkout, against one of our managers, you can still go get the ball. You miss a checkout against Imwani Wilkinson, and he's going to dunk it. I mean, it's a tip dunk, and so that's where the depth really helps us and really plays a factor for us, I think.
Well, I know you like to work the schedule. What are you hearing?
Oh, God.
Any of that?
Should make a reality show out of scheduling for this year. You sound like Kent. Kent texts me every day. Coach, is the schedule done yet? In fact, he texted me notes on today on who he thinks we potentially could be playing. He sent me notes today about that to mention on the call. I'm going to say, Kent, I'm not giving away who we're playing on this call. But we're in the process. We're coming down the home stretch with the schedule. Let me say this about the schedule. Matt Laborde from our administration has been absolutely phenomenal working with and getting through these contracts. I mean, it's been – look, I don't complain, and I never complain, and there's no need to complain because I'd much rather be scheduling games and not scheduling games and not playing. So it's been a process. But basically what it's going to look like is we'll go to a bubble to start the season, probably in Lincoln, Nebraska. Not probably. We're going to go to Lincoln, Nebraska. We just don't know the teams we're playing yet. We'll play 3 games there. We'll come back. We're going to play Louisiana Tech at home. I think that contract's already signed, so I can say that. Then we're going to go to Atlanta and play a couple games. We've already got the one contracted with South Florida. We're supposed to have a contract today for another game on that Monday, so we'll play on a Saturday and Monday in Atlanta with the same event. So while we're there, we can stay in the Omni, which is connected to State Farm. We can kind of create a bubble there. Then we'll come back and we'll play a couple home games before Christmas on December 19th and December 22nd, and that's the schedule. We've got the 22nd game locked in. We're going back and forth on the game on the 19th with a couple schools, and then we've got the SEC Big 12 Challenge. So that's our 9 non-conference plus our 18 conference games is 27. So we have a good handle on it. We're just getting the paperwork and all that sort of thing together. But it'll be as challenging a non-conference schedule as we've played since we've been here. We could probably, if it ended today how we think it's going to end, we'll probably only have one Quad 4 team on the entire schedule. And we'll have 18 or 19 Quad 1 and Quad 2 opportunities out of our 27 games, which is just tremendous. If the projections hold, I'm projecting a little bit, but to have one, the average team this year is probably going to have 4 to 5 Quad 4s. To only have one Quad 4, if we do what we need to do against this schedule and win some games, it's going to prepare us very, very well for very good NCAA tournament seeding.
Are you guys doing all the testing that football's doing? Are you doing once a week, twice a week?
I don't know what football's doing specifically. I know they're testing a lot. We're not in the in-season SEC testing protocol right now, but we're testing multiple times. We're testing multiple times a week with the nose swab, and we've been fortunate. Our guys have done our guys have done a nice job so far. Knock on wood, we haven't had any major issues. So I've been real pleased and proud of our guys. We've had guys that have woken up in the morning and not felt good, and we've gotten them tested that morning, and we've had that happen 3 different times, and all 3 times it's turned out none of them had COVID, but they were at least aware of the symptoms and contacted Sean and did a nice job there. So, it's going to be a challenge throughout the season, something we've got to continually, it's another opponent. We've got to stay disciplined and have great attention to detail with what we're doing with that. So hopefully we can continue down that path.
I know you can't comment on it because it's an investigation, but how are you addressing it on the recruiting trail, moving to the IRC? I know the release said that was something that you welcome. Scott, you can answer if you like. But
Scott, you want to answer? Hey, look, there's.
Oh, I didn't know I was unmuted. Sorry about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions that come up in recruiting, and we tackle them head on and answer them all honestly with the best information that we have at the time. And so, it'd be naive to say what's going on hadn't affected anything in recruiting, but we're still plugging along and recruiting well and filling our needs, and hopefully we can add another guy or so here before the signing period ends. But we feel really good about what we've done in recruiting. Our staff's done a great job. Staff's worked extremely hard. Built very good relationships, and a lot of times when you have those relationships, it's easy to answer any questions and that sort of thing. And our administration's been very good about that as well.
Will, do you see a scenario, as has happened with all sports, professionally and collegiate to this point, where there's a mix and match schedule opportunity because games are canceled or games are postponed? How flexible can the league be, can LSU be, if there's a cancellation in making up games and with a symbiotic relationship with other teams?
Yeah, I mean, I was joking with Matt Laborde. I said we're scheduling all these games. We may not play any of them in the non-conference. We may just be scrambling and saying, hey, can you play? Can you play? Let's play this guy. Let's play that guy. So, yeah, I mean, there is going to have to be some flexibility. The SEC, I'm sure you all saw, the SEC moved up the start date. So what we've done is we're playing our first conference game is December 29th or 30th, I believe, as opposed to that first weekend in January. So that gives us some flexibility. If we need to move the schedule around. But the one thing that's a little bit different about basketball is, we're not football. You go to these MTEs, you can play 3 games in 3 days. You can play 3 games in 4 days. I mean, there's a lot of different flexibility in basketball that you have that maybe you don't have in football and certainly soccer and some of those sports where you've got to have a certain amount of length of recovery time for the. I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd be great if we played every 2 days in basketball. That'd be perfect. But we go to Jamaica last year. We play on back-to-back day. We play game, day off, game. You go to Maui the year before. You play 3 games. I mean, play 3 games in 3 days. So it's a little bit different that we can. I think we'll be able to maneuver through. If you got to cancel a couple games, we could play 3 or 4 games in a week if we needed to get back on track if everybody was ready. So I'm not saying that's the perfect solution or that's what we'd want to do, but certainly an option that's probably not available in most other sports.
Yeah, Will, this is Ron Higgins. Tell us about Cam Thomas, the type of scorer he is. He's the type of guy you get through the shot clock running out. I mean, he's going to get your points somehow.
He's going to get points. I mean, you remember the shots like Tremont used to hit? That's what he can hit while getting fouled, and he's 6'4". I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5". I mean, he's the real deal. It's to the point where, like, as a coach and even our team, when you're on his team in practice, when he misses, you're almost disappointed because as soon as it leaves his hand, you already count the shot. Like, you already think it's in. So, like, when he misses, you're like, oh, my gosh, we didn't get the 3 points, or, he does a great job. The shooting will garner a lot of attention because he's going to hit some trick shots and some crazy shots, and people are going to be just you know, hopefully if there's fans, people will be oohing and on. But you know, the part I'm excited about is he gets fouled. He's a 90+% free throw shooter. He's able to get in the paint. He's able to drive it in there. He's able to score a lot of different ways, which is very, very good.
We've got time for a couple more, according to Dr. Lowe.
According to who?
Dr. Lowe.
Oh, did he jump off the call here? Oh, no, there he is. He's there. He's still there. He's across the room from me here, socially distanced.
Here. Will, you know, we talked about this, gosh, back in April when we met, but just the idea that unlike football where you have a roster of size, I mean, this could decimate a team, you know, for a week and a half.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's what the protocols are now with everything. I think as we get into the, you know, I'm not a doctor, obviously, but as we get into more rapid testing and that sort of thing, I don't think that's what's gonna. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to get to a point where when you're testing every day, it's rapid testing, you can get the results in 30, 45 minutes. That you know, you can play the guys who test negative and the guys who test positive are on different. You know, I think we're going to get to a point where we can manage that. For instance, the MTE we're in at Nebraska. Part of the reason we're going, they have one of the most comprehensive testing plans I've seen. And we're going to get tested 5.5 hours before the game, and an hour and 15 minutes later, we'll know exactly who on our roster we have available. And so I think as we get further down the line and get further out, hopefully the testing will improve where that's not the case, where you've got to wipe out all your tier 1 individuals and basically what they have now. But I think we'll get to a point where hopefully we can test every day, and the guys who are negative can play, and the guys who are positive, obviously we'll need to quarantine and do some different things with there. But the better the testing, I think the better chance we have to pull off the season. Hey, in all seriousness, it is good to see all you guys. I know it's been a while, and I know particularly some of you guys, Sheldon I stayed in touch with, but some of you guys been through some rough times with everything going on. So it is good to see everybody, have everybody back, and let's have a good season, and hopefully we'll give you some positive stuff to write about, and we'll have a fun team to follow. But we appreciate all you guys, and thank you for covering us, and thanks for what you do, and excited to have everybody back and get started with practice. I'd have never thought when we left Nashville and that we'd be sitting here doing Zoom interviews still when we left Nashville for that SEC tournament. But that's where we are. We'll make the best of it, and we appreciate everybody.